Today.
No trouble. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so hey, we tried to shoot you an email earlier because we couldn't remember if we were supposed to have planned anything or had anything prepared for this meeting.
There was supposed to be a form that came with it, but I got Karen's, but I didn't get yours. But that's okay. It's all right. We'll just go on the fly.
Okay, sounds good.
Just looking at everything on Montana's shelf there. It's like you're in a vet's office or something.
Yeah, it looks that way. No, it's just all of our stuff for closings.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how is the real estate business?
it's good. It's it's seasonal and also the shifting market that the media is jumping on. I think it scares people, but I think now that for a few months it's been shifting and whatnot, and people are saying that there's still multiple offers and the sky isn't falling, I think people are realizing no, it's pretty steady.
Got
So
it.
it's
Yeah.
up to us to educate them, and we do a lot of classes and workshops and try to post things on our social media to keep people informed.
So do you find the prices change dramatically as you get further away from Seattle?
Yeah. Like at least by 100,000 or plus, maybe two.
Because that was the case with Vancouver, but now, I mean, the radius, I mean, I live in Abbotsford, which is like an hour and a half from Vancouver. It's not that much different.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess commuting is getting easier, and a lot of people work from home anyway. But wow, the prices have gone up. Have been it's good for me, but crap for my kids.
Yeah, I would say that the prices of the city are coming down a little, but also the neighborhoods outside the city are increasing quickly. So you are right that there is a bit of a bridging or the gap is bridging.
Yeah,
So,
I have a friend who's a realtor here in Surrey, and he had his client appreciation day yesterday at a pumpkin patch, and it was torrential rain. It's like, oh, you poor guy. The weekend
uh,
before was beautiful, and then yesterday it was horrendous. So you can't win, but you got to keep trying, right?
exactly.
So how can I best help you guys?
Well, I guess when I signed up for the boot camp, I think I came up to your table and I was like, "Hey, we do a pretty good job at social media, so we don't really need like a whole lot of help, but we were looking to kind of take things to the next
Yeah,
level."
yeah. I
And
mean,
we've been going through your workshops and whatnot. I mean, they're good. I mean, for people who don't know what they're doing, I think it's really great to give people homework and to get them going. But I don't know that it's really like helped us tremendously yet. I mean, I think is today or last week, this week?
this week, yeah.
Yeah. So we were hoping to just kind of get some of your time and dive deeper.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think I think the class that you're putting on next is more what I thought this was going to be. Yeah, but I don't really have any more budget to do another one. Like that was way over my head and budget wise. So we're just gonna kind of try and see if we can get your one-on-one time to kind of get
Yeah,
us
you bet.
to hit our goals.
Okay, okay. So, tell me who your ideal client typically is, sort of thing, or do you have multiple?
Yeah, so we'll work with anyone. And I know that it's kind of hard to not have like a target market, but really, I think a lot of my success has been by not having a target market.
Hmm.
My territory is wherever you want to buy and sell. I will literally make it happen. If I can't physically do it, I will partner with somebody in the area who's an expert and work with them on it. I don't refer out because then they're no longer my client, and you don't never know when they want to buy back in your area, and then you may have lost them. So area is Washington State, really. Age group, I love first time home buyers because I love teaching and I love, when you get them new and they're like, what do I do? And they're really happy and they're really excited and really thankful. But of course, the older that they get, the bigger price point they have. But I'm really not in this to make a lot of money off people. I really am in it more because I care and I love what I do and I love the success story. So by helping a lot of first-time home buyers, all I'm doing is I'm building my future pipeline for all of those bigger paychecks to come. So I guess if I had to choose one, I really do like first-time home buyers, but again, I'll take anyone.
That low price point when they first enter the market,
Yeah.
but then no chain, right? So
Yep.
yeah, they're coming in pre-approved, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
do you work specifically with a mortgage broker as well?
yeah, so we have a couple mortgage partners. a lot of them want to work with us and they lay out the red carpet and they don't follow through. But I'd say we have a 3 to 5 that we really love and partner with on multiple different things.
And how many of your clients are entrepreneurs so that they don't have like a regular paycheck sort of type income, or are you only corporate people?
So pretty rare that an entrepreneur is our client just because financing is really hard. I personally work with a lot of investors because I'm an investor myself. Not like a big serial investor, but I'm more of a lower risk, medium reward investor. And so I work with a lot of people who want to become an investor. So kind of like a first time home investors, I guess, also.
Yeah, get it. I get it.
So they're entrepreneur-like. But yeah, it's really hard to get a financing if you're an entrepreneur. So.
Oh, that's why I asked. Yeah.
Yeah, not many.
I mean, we find locally a lot of the credit unions, if you really are able to explain the case, definitely are more conducive than the banks. But yeah, because I know certain mortgage brokers and realtors, they literally just specialize in working with entrepreneurs. And a lot of it's private finance, but they definitely have carved a niche there. Certainly in British Columbia. I mean, I know we're so close to neighborhoods, but there's so many people who are self-employed here, and they want to buy a house as well. So
yeah, well, there is a product at one of the lenders where they'll work off of your it's like a tax return approval. So they will work off tax returns. So there is a program that I'm aware of, but I don't see it being a consistent thing where people aren't able to get finance because they're entrepreneurs. So
yeah, I think it's called, they base your earnings on what's called EBITDA, which is earnings before something. Because a lot of, like, on paper, I don't make a lot of money. Because I keep everything in my business. But there are certain ways that you can actually show what the profitability of the business is. And then they went, oh yeah, I get it. Okay.
Exactly.
And as I know some people, that's their niche, and they specifically, especially more in the mortgage broking side, but she has specific realtors that only use her because of that reason. And wow, she's crazy busy. So
that's interesting. It might be interesting to kind of maybe run like a Facebook ad, keep it really low daily amounts at budget and just keep it running.
Yeah.
And just try to target those kind of people.
Yeah. So what do you do with your leads once you get, are you really trying to get people's emails, or what are you trying to do for lead gathering?
Yeah, so leads have been kind of all over the place. So I've only been in the business a little over 2.5 years. Okay. My first year and a half, I did nothing with leads. And the last year I have been like, oh, so I'm doing this well without leads. So just imagine I create another pillar of business and, another channel of whatever. And I add leads. Well, what it did is it took my time and it put it towards people who were at, 3, 6, 12 months out from buying, and it focused all of my time away from there. And then I tried to hire people to help with the leads, and the people I was hiring just weren't motivated enough. They needed to see a quicker return. So I've learned a lot in the last year. I would say I had a much slower year of business, but I tried and tested all the things, and I've gone back to the basics. Okay. So really, we have leads coming in from a couple different sources at the moment, but I think when those accounts start to expire, we probably won't be renewing a lot of them. But for example, we will be getting leads from open houses. We will be getting leads from these workshops. So there will always be leads coming in. So the way I have the business right now is I do all of the listings, with the exception of maybe like 1 or 2. If my team, had it for their mom and they were like, hey, my mom really wants my name in the yard, not yours. Okay. So there's like minor exceptions, but for the majority of it, I do all the listings, and I also do all of my buyer sphere. So like friends, family, and referrals, those are all mine also. And then I have a buyer's assistant who helps with like a very small portion of those guys, just to kind of, show houses and all this stuff that takes a lot of time and not a lot of thought and knowledge. You can leverage that easily. Yeah. And then the rest of the business, probably 85% of my business is my sphere. So that other 15%, which is leads and just stuff coming in. Montana was kind of helping out with it for a little while, but that was just in between hiring and firing people. And so one of my old, she was my showing assistant first when she was on my team. And then she wanted to be an agent and then learned that she didn't want to do the things that an agent's required to do. So she left the team and went and did it on her own and then figured out, shoot, I'm not making any money. So she came back to the team and we have a bit of a deal worked out where she's getting all of the leads and she's putting them into the CRM and she's following up with them in her own time. If it's something that needs to be ASAP, she's pretty familiar with those ones, jumping on those ones, and the other ones, it's just she's doing her best to kind of consistently keep up on them, which is a huge time piece. And so she's leveraging that. But also at the end of the day, ideally, I am the converter, I am the salesperson, and I convert at the highest level. So I should be doing some of that, but you know, I'm so busy with my own stuff. Like you got to just be okay with
Totally.
with good enough.
What CRM do you use?
So we switched from Commissions Inc. We were using Commissions Inc. from January of this year, and we finally got rid of it in about end of July.
Mhm.
And we've been switching over to Keller Williams has a new CRM called Command, and it's pretty legitimate. Yeah, they put $1 billion into technology in the last 10 years or so. So they're just rolling that out, and I think we're the first team in our office to adopt it. So we're early adopters of it.
Adopters, yeah. And do you do a newsletter?
Yeah, once a month we do a newsletter.
And is that like Realtor Butler where it's just stock stuff, or is it very personal to you?
It's more personal than not. Like we actually realized we're not educating at all within it. And so we are going to start adding a little bit of I don't know, like year over year this month has gone up or down by this much, like tiny bit. But I think it's very personal to us, and whether people like it or not, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So how many people do you think you have in your database?
About 1,000, Montana.
Yeah, now.
Okay, and are you tagging these people like how they arrived and any personal details around them?
Yeah.
Perfect.
First time home buyer, you know, where they came from, referral, you know, buyer, seller. Yeah.
And how much do you use Messenger as part of that?
Facebook Messenger?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a social media team. So Montana does her best to, you know, look at like, look, this just sold, look, this just went pending, look, this is just, you know, what we're doing as a team. And then I hired a social media company who's like running the ads that are really like driving people there. And so in the last month, we created a chatbot. And
the next question. Yeah.
So in the last week, what do you think, Montana? I just saw a new lady was messaging us on there. So I think in the last week, we've got like 5 people on our chatbot. They're not the greatest leads. They're like, we're looking for something. Our budget's 100,000. I was like, so RVs without motors, the kind you pull with your car.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, we're always trying new things, but.
So are you calling it like the Ashley bot or anything like that?
I don't know. That's our other company is the one who's kind of built it out. And
the bots that I find are working are the ones that really get funky with the name of it. So if you called it the Ashley bot or the Montana bot or something like that, so there's a brand association with the bot.
Okay.
I mean, most people don't realize how much bots are doing the work these days. And there's still a lot of alienation to the automated things, but it's definitely the way forward. You're smart to adopt it.
Yeah. Well, the problem right now, I think Montana's messaged them or has it on our list to message them. They're like, so, you know, asking all these questions, and then it gets to the phone number part and they're not answering, and they're like, what's your phone number? And they're not answering, what's your phone number? And I'm jumping in like, oh my God, you're scaring these people away. I'm like, hey, so, yeah, totally understand that you just mentioned you have telephobia. No problem. We'll follow up with you with an email. The chatbot comes in, what's your phone number? I'm like, so we got to get it to shut off somehow once we jump on.
Sometimes I mean, I just say, hey, this is Ashley. This is not the Ashley bot. I'm here. And that's why I often take people sort of, I use my own personal messenger for that. Because we have the workshop coming up for boot camp, and I had about 10 people that I know should buy it. And yesterday I spent an hour on Messenger literally sending them personal voice messages. And 6 out of the 10 literally opened it like in real time. Nice. And then I sent them a link to the webinar, and I sent another message. Look, this is me. It's not a bot. I was just thinking of you, and it's Sunday afternoon, and I really think that the free training would help, but I'd love to work with you. And we got sign up after sign up after sign up, just like, because I was going the extra mile and it was actually my voice and me.
Yeah.
Man, does it, and the little green light, and you can see when I've opened it and typing back, it's a huge asset. So.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it would be good to kind of, I try to use Messenger when possible because my text, like, I probably get 150 or more text messages a day. And so it gets really hard to keep up with everyone. Yeah, I'm trying to, so like a couple events that we've done, our biggest thing is like, hey, we put all this time into having this big event. How do we now like get everyone on to come?
Yeah.
So when we post it on our social media, you know, this many people see that post. We do our best to shoot them a text with the information and the link, you know, maybe message it to them on Messenger. But we were just finding, you know, for our time and the amount of people now that we have to reach, what's it called? Easy texting, Montana, mass texting.
Easy texting.
We just did our first mass text. We got 0 response from it, but you can't really measure response, but it didn't get us to sign up.
I understand the principle. To me, it's almost like this isn't the way I look at it. Is like, this is my phone. It better be something that A, I want to read, and B, it better be real. And I get quite a lot of mass texting, and it's like, it actually ticks me off. So if anything, it's counterproductive. I understand the scale, which is why I think Messenger, although it's more work, and you can create Messenger groups, and people don't like necessarily always being added to a group either. But the one-on-one is gold for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I do Post-it notes still. I don't really show my office wall to everybody, but
nice.
This is my lead gen. You know, literally all the way.
Wow.
And these are all people that I've met, and I have a very visual memory. So when I see like Ashley Scruggs, I can remember exactly. I can see your dog running around. I can see that big tree stump that you were having sort of removed out. Pictures of you and your wife. I mean, it's instant, right?
Yeah.
So when I send a message, I remember who you are.
Mm.
And I have found that to be a huge success for us. Is like, I got a $50,000 deal this year, and this lady, she emailed me in March last year, and not 2019, 2018, and said, I'm kind of a social media Luddite. I'm a little bit late to the game, but I hear you're a good person to learn social media from. Could you help me? I went, I would love to. I said, I have a course coming up called the Social Media Bootcamp. Even if you don't do social media yet, have a look at this course. It'll give you a grounding, and then if you think that's for you, let me know. I can sign you up for the next one. Didn't hear from her. I was like, oh, let's get her away. So then, but there was just something about the way she wrote the email. I wrote a name on a Post-it note.
Yeah.
And I have a CRM too, and you know, she's tagged, but even so. So then I wrote her in like October and said, Kim, we never heard from you about the bootcamp. If you went somewhere else, you know, that's totally fine. But I really got the impression you needed some help. And if you need some help, I have a calendar. Here's a link. Let me know.
Mm-hmm.
She went, oh my goodness, you remembered me. I went, yeah. So she then said, actually, my circumstances changed. I was thinking about writing a book. I've actually now finished the manuscript. We want to publicize it next year, and we have no idea where to start. Can we chat? So we did a call. She brought a partner in who was going to fund it with her, and we ended up signing them up in January in the end. And they went all in, like the biggest package that we have, which I didn't even know if she could afford, to be truthful. But they found the money, and they've become international bestsellers, and they got a paid speaking gig this week, and they've been on a Bob Proctor stage last month, and it's totally taken off for them.
Yeah.
He still says, the reason we worked with you is you remembered me.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So I understand that you have like your social media company. So, but that sounds more of like a full PR company. Like, do you do the PR? Yeah. Okay.
We do a lot. Yeah. The boot camp is really one of my ways to work with people.
Yeah.
And it's a great way. And it's a way we get the most people through. But after that, I mean, realty is different because you have specifically proprietary software that has to go in with MLS.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done some realty websites. But now I just say, you know, this is my expertise is not in helping you show your listings. There's so many, and the cost of getting these MLS websites is so little with Remax and companies like that and top producers. So I don't even try and compete. But what I do is the smart people sort of say to me, well, what if I created a personal branding site that wasn't my listings, but it really was a site around who I am and what my values are and how I can bring value. So say it's ashlyscrubs.com is your realty site. Maybe it's ashley.info or something that is more of a less salesy, but more of a personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
And then specifically, we work with people in terms of exactly that. What I like to call public relationships rather than public relations, and just build up that brand. Because I worked with a realtor about 7 years ago now, who's now like one of the top Remax speakers, because he makes way more money speaking at R4 and all these places than he does anything else.
Wow.
And we created a Facebook page for the city that he lives in. Doesn't have like a town square or a central hub. It's just an area, and it's called Langley. And there's two cities: there's Langley City and Langley Township. So there's two tax zones. But where he works in the Walnut Grove area, Fort Langley area, there's no like town hall or anything. But there's a lot of houses, like a ton of houses, and it's grown exponentially over the last 20 years. And he's always lived there. His parents had a B&B. So we ended up creating a Facebook page called My North Langley. And for the longest time, we didn't even tell anybody he was a realtor.
Oh, nice.
He just paid it forward like 5 great places to walk on a Sunday afternoon that most people don't know about. Or he would feature charity events or baseball games or how to get tickets. And he just became the go-to authority for the local area. Built this page up to about 5,000 people. And I went, Michael, are you ever going to tell them you're a realtor?
Yeah.
I'm doing quite well. Seriously, buddy. So, and a lot of people didn't know, but it was very deliberate because he built the trust.
Yeah.
And this site, I mean, he started doing like major events, and people would come to him saying, we have the Chamber of Commerce went to him and said, look, you have a better audience than we have. You know, could you promote this family day, or could you promote this hockey game for charity? And then all of a sudden, he built this custom audience of people were coming to him. Then he turned on the realty field and started showing people, you know, he said, if you'd have bought this house in this area in 1975, it would have been worth this. And I remember in 1989, when I was, 15, my dad and I were just sitting in this field, and it's like, this field is now 10,000 townhomes. And suddenly, because he'd lived there so he became the go-to authority. It's a long game.
Yeah.
But man, he is screaming it now. And most realtors are like, as soon as I mention his name, it's like, oh yeah, well, of course, he had it easy. I went, no, he didn't. He paid it into social media for a long time. Last year, he did 365 days of North Langley, and he had people submit their favorite photograph. So every day on Instagram, there was this beautiful picture of the same area. And he's in the supermarket lining up, and people went, you're the My North Langley guy. Thank you so much. I just love your page. And can I talk to you about, my son, he's moving back from university and he needs to buy. So there are, that's the kind of thing that we've done in the past that have made a huge difference to marketing, which, as I say, it's a longer game, but totally unique. And that's how we did it.
Yeah. Well, I come from a PR background. Like, I actually have a degree in public relations. And so, and my background has been marketing, sales, and just kind of taking a product through the whole concept to create.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, taking it to market.
I knew you were smart, but I didn't know that.
Well, thank you. Stop it. Yeah, so I did that for a company, a retail company, and they only had one sales channel at Costco, and I got it into other channels because I pretty much was like, what if Costco stops taking your product? Done deal. Yeah. So then I did a couple other things, and all of it has helped me with real estate in one way or another. But I did, create a couple products of my own and took them through concept to creation and got them on different sales channels. So when it comes to real estate, it is totally a different animal. And also people are like, oh, you do sales. So we try to approach it with like, here's all the stuff we're selling. We're obviously doing a really great job. Here's some stats, here's some classes. and so we do good enough. Like we have a ton of referrals. We meet people at open houses, but I don't. I would like to have like, I don't know. It just needs to be more consistent of referrals. It's just luckily for me, I have a ton of referrals, and I just don't really worry because we do enough business. But in terms of like projecting growth, I would like to really find some more organic ways to be getting people without spending so much. I spent a lot on advertising this year.
And
So
giving you a good ROI, has it?
no, not at all. And maybe we did it in the wrong places. We did a lot on Facebook. I'm just not seeing the good leads. We tried all different kinds of ads. We tried the whole like have to give us your information ads. Just what's the other one? I can't remember, but it's just pretty much the call to action was like click here, do this. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally think that's saturated now, and the cost per click is quite high.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been done too much.
Mm-hmm.
I've had success where there was one friend of ours. He listed his house, and the house was okay, but they had a hot tub, and the view from the hot tub at night was just freaking amazing. So all we did was took a picture from the hot tub, and we used that as the ad, and said, "Could you imagine you having this sky-wide TV screen at night?"
Yeah.
Which is really what the mountain and the back of from his backyard was, and the sky. And we just ran that ad for one picture and said, "Could you imagine jumping into this hot tub at night?"
Nice.
And it's like, yeah. And then he went, "We're listing a house. It's not even on the market yet, but just let you know, this would be the view from your hot tub." And it was a real tease, but yeah.
Nice, and it went.
We've done that with like a breakfast bar and a kitchen. It's like, could you imagine just sitting here in the morning, looking out of this window, having your coffee? Coming soon. And
Yeah.
tease them enough. And then this particular realtor, she wouldn't actually let anybody go and see the property until she did an open house. So she made them all wait. And then suddenly there was a real, she would get 55, 60 people through this open house in one day.
Yeah.
And then she said, "I'm not taking offers until Monday."
Yeah. And at one point that was kind of what we were doing. No showings, have one weekend of open houses and have offer review dates. The market, it's slowed down quite a bit, at least right this second, but no, that's great. We also can't pre-market though. If you talk about it to anyone before it goes live, you could lose your license. So the places
Even
that
with
are
just a picture?
nothing, not even,
Oh
you
my
can't even,
goodness.
you can't even take a video saying, "Hey, I'm at a listing appointment." Anything that could trigger somebody to say, "Hey, tell me more about that," you could lose your license. And there are a lot of people out there who want realtors to lose their license. So unfortunately, the places where,
Okay, yours is different. Okay, wow.
yeah.
Okay. What do you think about the Facebook page for the community then?
Yeah, we've talked about that, Montana. Like we've talked about doing a community page. I worry. Okay, so I've grown up in a place called Silver Lake, and I don't think it gets enough credit for what it is. It borders a really fancy, expensive town, but it's one of the more affordable suburbs. But it's on a lake, and it's cool and it's growing. So I'm from Silver Lake. I've lived here my entire life. I've gone and left the country and states, but I always keep coming back to Silver Lake, and that's like my hub. So I worry about growing a page that's only Silver Lake though, because I feel like it is a little too small, but yet like my family's really well known here. I know all the places here, but like our office is in Bothell. We'll take a listing in Bothell all day long. So that's kind of been our holdup, is just strategizing it correctly. And that's part of the reason we're here today, is to little tiny tips.
Yeah. And do you have lots of great nature pictures from the area?
Yeah, we walk the lake every night, have a ton of beautiful sunsets, lake shots, listing photos.
Yeah. And there isn't a Facebook community page for that area that you know of? Or
I need to look. I actually haven't looked. That's
I think there is.
Yeah, there's got to be. So I hashtag on a lot of stuff, and I was going to actually get this URL or this domain, the Silver Lake Specialist. So I hashtag.
Yeah. Yeah, I have made so happen deliberately.
Mm-hmm.
I think my camera, I changed the angle of it. I'm sorry.
You can see here.
I moved, I don't normally move my camera, what's it? No, my
Oh,
software's gone slow. There you go. Oh, come on.
I can see it now, actually. Oh, now it's going. There you go. Perfect.
Look at how it changed. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and have that literally as your brand.
Yeah, but also I don't want to lose out on other opportunities because I really will go anywhere. And so, I sat down with Montana last week and we talked about also starting a blog.
Yeah.
We don't have a blog yet, so that's something, I don't know if we'll get to it today, but one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about, just where to start, like what's the best program to start blogging? Where do we promote it? Who writes it?
100% WordPress.
Okay.
As I say, I would have it as a separate site to your listing site. And if it is the silverlakespecialist.com or something like that, or silverlakeandbeyond.com, you can almost play on the Buzz Lightyear thing a little bit, you know.
Oh yeah, Silverlight. Okay.
And I would do that. And then, I mean, it's not difficult. And anybody can do anything on Fiverr, but getting a WordPress site that really works for SEO. So don't go to WordPress.com and do the free one, but go to WordPress.org and actually create your own or have someone create it for you. But just as a simple blog. And yeah, I mean, that's what the whole next course is about. It's just how you run with a blog and how you get it found and how Google works with SEO for blogging. But even if it was like the 5 best or the 7 best or the 10 best, one of the best books. The best book that I've ever read and continue to read is this one here. It's called They Ask You Answer.
Okay.
It's just been updated to include video. The previous version, which was 5 years ago, which is still magnificent, didn't talk about how you use social media video, which everyone does. And then 70% of people on a blog would rather watch a video than read the blog.
Okay. Interesting.
So you want to have as much video as you do written text, but you need both because Google doesn't index the video. It'll index the title of a video, but you don't. Even though it has voice recognition software, it doesn't use it.
Okay.
So having a video as well, and that's honestly the easiest way for me to write blogs is to make a video first and then transcribe the video and turn that into it. So it's not a transcription, but it's close. And that's how I build my blogs.
Okay, and you mentioned that there was a transcribing program, or somebody mentioned it. What was that called again?
Well, there's several. If you're actually videoing and you do it on Zoom, or like I use Zoom Webinar a lot for my video recording, but I also use Facebook as well. But rev.com, rev.com, and that's a real person who's translating it, so you get like 99% accuracy.
Wow.
They have a paid version which is all automated, which is called Temi, Temi. But I have just been playing with a new one now. It's called Otter.ai, I think it is. It's just so it's OT. I'm just trying to think of the actual name of the app. So it's called Otter. I think it's Otter.ai. OTTER, and it's the first month is free, but man, it is so. But this is only for voice recording, not video. But its accuracy is fantastic.
Okay.
So that's where I start, and I deliberately do my videos in landscape so that it works really well for YouTube. Whereas I'm doing Instagram TV, like the Shaving Chronicles, I'll always do those in portrait because I know the majority of people watch on their phones. So I do some work around how I make the video. And then, I mean, if you have some software and you could start editing these videos, so it's like the 5 best bars on a Friday night to have great food without it just being like, you know, a drunken party zone, or 5 best places to go for a walk, or 10 things you must do before you ever buy a house. And then you start naming the name of the city to go with it, like the 10 things that you must do in Seattle before you ever decide to buy a house. And these kind of blogs will actually get, I mean, you need to share them as LinkedIn articles, you need to share them on Facebook, you need to have them as a website by itself, and then share that also on Google My Business. But if you're consistently creating content like that, 2 times a month, 3 times a month for the next 6 months, you'll be, and then with a video with that, you'll be amazed how much Google visibility you'll get really quick. And then, because you're lovely on camera, I mean, you have a lot of fun on camera.
I'm like, oh, nobody wants to watch this.
You might want to slow down the dog stuff a little bit. And I know, don't tell the dogs, but because at some point, especially in stories, there can be too many in a day. So 7 to 8, I would typically advise but vary it up. But I've loved watching your stories, and I think if you were to do that for these lists of 5 or 7, or renting versus buying, second home versus our 401k sort of thing, and really become that investment strategist as well as the realtor. That's totally what I would be doing.
Yeah. So, I mean, from a realistic standpoint, Montana and I are probably both like 100% leveraged, but you can always take things and move different things in. So, while we're a little bit slower on listings right now, Montana has a unique season of extra time-ish. Stuff seems to always fall in the day that needs to be done. But again, it's just prioritizing and time blocking and just finding an hour every day to slowly build it. Yeah. So we're trying to be realistic about how often we can do it. And this is the one thing that I've never done. I've never had a blog. I've thought about it a million times. I should have done it. When I traveled the world, I would have had a huge following. But so I guess how we were starting is Montana's like, so you want me to do it? Like, I don't know how either. And I'm like, I know, I get it. Like, so maybe realistically, like, should she be creating the content for me to then get on and shoot a video about it? And then over time, as we grow bigger and bigger.
You want to brainstorm like at least the first 10 topics.
Yeah.
The type of topic that you could literally, someone could wake you up at 2 in the morning and say, hey, I need you to come on the phone call. Tell them about such and such, so that the no-brainer topics for you that you just know. So it could be top 10 places to go for a walk, top 10 places that kids put their kids into preschool for, anything that relates to the local area that you have a working knowledge of, and just speak it out. And that they would be your core ones. And then from the core ones, you might want to say, the blog could be sort of preparing for preschool. And it's like some preschools are so booked that, if you don't put their name down the day you give birth, you won't get in. But then go to the preschool and video outside the preschool and grab one of the teachers at Montessori school or whatever and just sort of say, so if I was to have a child, and when would you recommend so on and so forth. And you make these sort of educational videos, so it's more edutainment rather than entertainment. Yeah. And I tell you, you create a series like that, and again, everybody's busy, nobody has the time, but the people that do it win. And that would be for sure. I mean, even if you Montana just brainstormed a number of titles, and then you said, oh yeah, sure. And then just as you're having coffee, you could spout it, have the phone running, and before you know it, you've turned it into a working document, and then you go make a video with that as well. You get that.
Yeah, so we just created our IG channel Friday. And so I guess we're trying to figure out like what we're putting on the IG channel. Should we also be putting on the blog? Because because I think what we thought was we'll do like 1 day a week or maybe every other week. That's like Talk Shop with Scripps Estates. And essentially,
there's that drawing in the workshop that I have of like the bicycle wheel, which like the blog is the hub of the wheel. And the rim is all the people you're trying to reach. And each one of the spokes in the wheel is another social platform. But that blog is still the main item. And then whether you go to IGTV or YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or an actual written full-scale blog, it's the same piece of content. And then like with WordPress now, there's software you can integrate so that it will then go share your blogs 8 or 9 times a month across your social media platforms for you. So you don't have to go back and keep sharing it. but then repurpose that same article into your LinkedIn profile and write it as an article, which is not duplicate content on the web. Because LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, and LinkedIn is now just trying to keep everybody in LinkedIn, as Facebook's trying to keep everybody in Facebook. So having these little pockets of content, you know, could be
Okay. Yeah. So our newsletter that we do every month, it's called Looking Back. So we look back at the previous month, but during the month we post stuff about everything we're doing. But again, like the amount of people who see it from the algorithms is pretty small.
Yeah.
So we're talking about maybe once a week or every other week coming on and like talk shop with Scripps Estates and just talking about like everything we're doing that week. I posted a video this morning just trying to get in the habit of just doing them. It wasn't really that exciting, but it was like, hey guys, I had a great weekend. Here's what I'm doing this week. I'm teaching 2 classes, just talking about it. I guess I could have talked about the closing we had last Friday and the one that we had today. I didn't even talk about those things. So I think Montana's going to try and get in the habit of at least being like, here's your agenda, talk about this today. And it doesn't even need professional. I'll just go down the agenda and talk about it.
Sure.
And then we talked about.
Do you ever video interview the people post closing?
Wait, do we do a video post closing? Like, do we have our clients do it? So we asked for reviews. We've gotten a couple clients to do post closing videos, but people are very hesitant to go on camera. But I guess we could probably try more often.
If you were to, let's just say, I just bought my house with you, and then you probably bring a gift basket or something when people move in, or what do you do when they move in?
We used to, but it's so hard to align people's schedules up with ours that we've now just started sending a gift card in the mail. I mean, I get it. I totally understand going afterwards and seeing their home and touching them again. Like, we know all of that, but trying to fit all the things in with a 2.5 person team. So it's either we need to hire another person and have them salaried.
I was going to say, if you could get videos of them sitting aside, so what was it like, you know, to work with Ashley? You know, why did you pick her, and you know, how's the experience been? If you could get those experiences on video and then turn them into blogs and say, hey, don't take my word for it. There's 100 realtors, you know, who are as good as me, who could help you just as well as I could. What's the difference between me and everybody else? Ask this couple here. And you could get that kind of video testimony in your blog, and then you share those. You would do so well. I know it's harder work, but.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can ask them to do a video, kind of like shoot one and send it over.
You could do that too. Or you know, even if you could just say, hey, I need 15 minutes. Could we Zoom?
Yeah.
And then FaceTime, and then you record the Zoom, even like on this sort of multiplex, and just say, look, everybody's busy. I'm on to my next job, but I care enough that could you help me? It's like, what was it like? And if the 2 of them are sitting in their living room and you're in your office or something, you don't have to visit them.
Yeah, I almost wonder though if it would be more valid if I wasn't asking the questions, because they feel like they have to say nice things back to me. I almost wonder if I should have somebody else
totally do that too. Yeah.
Interviewing.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Okay. So the talk shop with the agenda is one thing that we're starting to do we did one Friday, we did one today. And then once a month also, we're going to start small. So one talk shop, and then we're going to do one, what was it, Montana? What do we call it? Where we go meet a local business and business highlights.
Business highlights, yeah.
So local business highlight. And we'll just go, so Montana's going to set it up like, hey, is the owner available that from this time Ashley wants to come and just do a highlight of your company? Maybe we'll ask them 2 or 3 questions. Huh?
So you showcase them, because that's the other thing you could do with your blog is create a buttload of backlinks, so that you could have a specific page. It's like, these are not just local businesses. These are people that we actually know and refer on a regular basis. And then each one of those blogs becomes the plumber, the electrician, the home decor, interior stylist, the reupholsterer, the hairdresser. And you have a short video about that particular business and feature them, and then you backlink to their website. Google will list you as a major authority on local businesses because you've got all of these backlinks in your own website because of the blogs to those people. That would work really well.
So maybe that's where we should start, is we should take our list of people who we already refer to and just start by doing them first. So like Montana, like our appraiser, our inspector, our plumber, yeah, all those people.
you got to get on, ideally get on, even if it's Zoom and it's split screen and it's not in person, it's not as good, but it's very close. But that would make a huge difference to you.
Yeah, and even if they don't have a local business that we could attend, I mean, we're doing them a favor. We might even be able to get them to come to our office. We have a green screen all set up at our office that we can have access to.
Yeah.
So maybe Montana, you could be setting me up with interviews. Well, I mean, that's less work for you too. You don't have to go research.
Oh, yeah.
10
Just how long they've been in business, you know, what put them in business in the first place? Was it family? Did they relocate? You know, where have they lived since they started their own business? Did they sell the house to put the money in the business and then buy again? Did they rent? Did they live above the shop? And bring those questions into not just about their business, but how they do life in terms of where they live and what their investment's been around owning a home.
Yeah, what makes them different than other inspectors or whatever.
And tie them in. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's probably enough for us to get started, right, Montana?
I've recorded this as well, so I can send you this recording as well.
Okay, perfect.
So the blogging course obviously is exactly this, every week for the next 2 months.
Okay.
It runs on a Wednesday at 11 a.m., which is in the boot camp at Tuesday. Lindsay's a single mom, so she gets her kids to school, teaches, and then picks them up again. So that's why we picked a different time.
Okay.
It is pretty amazing. I mean, I could do you a payment plan if you wanted to join it over the next, between now and the end of the year, if that would help.
Okay.
There's typically only, I mean, I don't know yet, but I only have 8 people in it currently. We normally only go to about 12, 15 at the most. So very different, similar sort of to the boot camp show up, but that's it. There is nobody else in that group. And then Lindsay works. She helps you edit and write and create content. And then I brainstorm all the ideas with it because I don't run the course. I just show up and play. And Lindsay runs the course. So you get the best of my creative and then Lindsay's skill because she has a degree in journalism and WordPress and SEO. So might be an idea. And you can both obviously join like you did in the bootcamp. It's fine.
Yeah, so I guess what we're trying to figure out is like, you know, while it's Montana's like I'm helping here and there, I'm doing what I can, but also at the end of the day, like closing these deals, you know, we did all this work to get these clients to get into contract. So getting them through contract to close is like the number one priority. So her time is really fluctuating with like how many deals we have going at once.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to figure out if investing also in becoming blogging specialists is smart or if leveraging that out. You know what I mean? Like I'm a huge fan of leverage.
You can leverage out, but honestly, they're so vanilla. I mean, you're just going to be the same as the other smart people.
Yeah.
To be unique, it's got to be you.
Yeah.
And I can show you how I can show you how to create a blog and publish it in less than an hour. Once you get into the vein of doing it.
Okay.
But if it's the only way I know to differentiate yourself without spending and even if you spend a crap load of money on Facebook ads, I don't believe they really work. I mean, you've never seen me talk about Facebook ads because I think it's overdone.
Yeah, and if I look at what I've spent on Facebook ads for the year, and if I were to apply that budget to this and do more organic, that is my goal for next year. Take it back to the basics, take it back to organic, my personal brand. And I've always kind of been like what you'd call like maybe a social media influencer, like, hey, I'm going traveling, follow me on my travels. And so people are always kind of interested in what I'm doing. So, and I've got the animal, we have the shelter now that we're partnering with, and we're going to go do a video, and our videographer is going to drive up there with me, and we sponsored a suite. So we're going to do a whole story on that about how many dogs we're going to save. And so
that is great because that's a real dynamic of people that will constantly be loyal to because of that.
Yeah. And we're even talking about doing things where we used to give an amount to people for being friends, family, referrals, or returning customers. We're going to give them the option now to just donate that to the shelter. So we have all these ideas. So I think you are right that us doing it is probably going to be better because it's going to be more of a reflection of who we are.
If you look at me and my company, I mean, I sponsored Courtney's event, which was just a trial because I wanted to try something different. But typically, I don't spend any money on marketing at all. Everything we do is now because of reputation, and I've been doing it for obviously like 10 years. But to have a 7-figure sales business like me, and like when people look at my actual marketing spend, it's like, yeah, no, it's next to nothing.
Nothing. Oh my gosh.
Because all the content we create is organic. And yet we're busier than we've ever been. I mean, you can see the leads on my wall.
Yeah, I like that system. That's so my brain. I think Molly needs to pull out the hot leads and I'll put them here on my, I've got a whole blank wall. Look at that.
It
My
works.
wife will love it.
I took them away and I went all Excel and Infusionsoft. And even though I could see all the names, I could see they were tagged and everything, it didn't help. I didn't enjoy the experience. I went, and then a friend of mine said, go back to your post-it notes. If that worked for you, why change?
Mm-hmm.
Even though you have the technology. And I went back to it. And it makes, and even then, you know, if I think of people that, you know, might be thinking about buying in the next year or love the area, and I have a whole bunch of people and just say, hey, I was thinking about you today. How's the kids? How's things going?
Just hi.
And I just jump on Messenger all the time. And it's so authentic and rare these days that people actually do that for real.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
the blogs just make a huge difference for referrals.
Okay. Well, I think we have our team meetings on Wednesday morning. So Montana, let's add this to our agenda and we'll get brainstorming. And if we get stuck, we'll give it our best shot. If we get stuck, we can shoot you a little messenger and say, hey, what do we do?
Sure.
And then we'll chat about if it makes sense for us to jump on that next course as well.
It starts a week on Wednesday, so the 30th.
Oh.
There is a live training this Wednesday where we're just giving people a taste of what the course looks like for the hour.
Oh.
At 11 o'clock on this Wednesday, and then the course starts on the 30th. We're trying to get it done before the end of the year. So
okay.
It's quite close to they normally go back to back with the boot camp so that people get into a routine of spending an hour a week, and then we go deeper with the blog course. And
Okay.
but it's a smaller class.
So this Wednesday, 11 to 12.
Yeah, that's our free, what we call live training. Yeah.
Okay.
So similar to what you've just had with me in a little bit, but more specifically with Lindsay as well.
Okay. Can you share that with us?
Yes, I can.
So Montana, let's jump on that too, and let's see what we can learn from that. Okay. That's our team meeting usually, but we'll
just because you've already bought the boot camp, and we met, you know, with Courtney and stuff. If it's of interest and I can help you with a payment plan between now and Christmas, I'll do that. But I don't publicize that.
Yeah. So. Thank you. I appreciate that. So how many weeks does it go for starting the 30th?
So it's 8.
8 weeks. Okay. So I am going to be gone all of November, but it is, I know. Yeah. I'm taking my wife home for her 30th birthday back home to Scotland.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
I think actually.
We're going back. So we'll be in Scotland.
You go to Scotland in November?
I know. We always go over the holidays and it's like, but the food's good. It's raining all year long anyways. It doesn't really matter. Like, let's be real.
I was born off the coast of Scotland, so I know it really well. But yeah.
Nice. Well, so will it be of benefit? Like, will it be recorded to where Montana could still join and it'll be recorded?
Back to that boot camp. Yeah. The difference is that the homework is not go make some videos, but the homework, if I want to call it homework, but the project each week is we specifically work on a particular document, and then we just get people to send in that Word doc or a Google doc, and then we literally edit and help and enhance the document to help publish it. So we don't it's not just ideas, it's much deeper.
Okay.
Why it's a smaller group and much more hands-on. Okay. And we speak into each document. So we try and get people out with at least 3 amazing blogs by the end of the course. And then a list of at least 30 more. Okay. So we should maybe hold off on creating one and doing all those things. I would. Okay. So, okay. I get it. And it'll only be 7 p.m. every day in Scotland when I'm there. So if there's nothing planned, I could probably jump on then. And Zoom is, it's 11 a.m. So it's, yeah, you're right. 7 p.m., 8 hours. Yeah. Okay. Surprised my wife's like, what? She's off today. I heard that. You're not doing any work. Hey, honey, I'm making you money. Exactly. Yeah. It's got to be different. Yeah. She just said, I heard that. Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll let you get on with your day. I really appreciate you. I don't know where your video. Oh, there you are. So we'll let you get on with your day. I'll send you a recording of this too. Cool. Yeah. All right. Good to see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye. Bye.